Drive on Lugnutz. Play on my tangers.
There's nothing left to do but to crank over those engines, gearheads, 'cause 'tis none other than us, the Lugnutz podcast.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Recorded 3 March 2024. Tesla to earn billions. X2. X what? A Renault Mini. That and a little bit more on this week's Lugnutz.
Enjoy the show. Drive on Lugnutz.
We want you to drive on over here. Facebook.com/Lugnutz podcast, as well as hopping over to PJandDWH.com. That's where you're going to find all of the Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers content, like comics and Pop-Tarts, as well as Lugnutz and Tales of the Hunted, and the newly released Hit Points and Half Measures. We have a D&D podcast with the writers of comics that I've gathered along the way, as well as Frank Percy and our DM, Joe Clay. It is an amazing show, and I think you guys are going to like it. A lot like liking, well, maybe not, this first story.
Tesla set to earn billions. As of June, GM is giving customers more access to 12,000 Tesla fast charging stations in the US and Canada.
Wow.
GM does plan to invest $400 million in EV charge stations, but every state's adopting the Tesla
Plug, yeah.
so they're gonna earn billions off the plug alone. It's like you don't need one; you need like a whole.
Even if they like adapt it to so that it could just plug into any charger, you're still paying for that cable, and it's probably going to be fucking pricey through the nose.
Yeah, which really makes me think: how many charging stations will you need? Because like 9 pumps will serve a community, or 4.
Look, if you get like
a
a
small
Wawa
station.
or a Sheetz involved in it, you know, maybe there's something there that you
'Cause it
have now that
takes-
you have a standard plug. You know what I mean?
Takes forever. to
Yeah, but you
charge.
put them over to the side in the parking that like nobody uses. You just set them over there. You're finally using that space. And, you know, maybe it's by the dumpsters. I don't know. I'm not your planner. You know what I mean? But adding the charges out there, I feel is a more accessible goal because you have that overall Tesla standard charger.
Well, Tesla operates 1 in 3 charging stations in the United States. Tesla could see $6 billion to $12 billion a year in earnings.
So we're going to Mars, bitch! What? That's what I heard! Woo!
They're expanding their charging network till about 2030 is when they'll.
All right, so that's
Their
probably what they're going to
expansion.
spend their money on.
Yeah,
If they're a smart company, not just like, hey,
They're not-
let's funnel it into this other planet.
I don't think they.
It's
can
a
do
lot
that.
smarter of a
Tesla is
business
its own
thing.
company. I mean,
Yeah.
Elon can.
Yeah.
I don't think he can just do that.
I don't know, but I'm assuming no. I think just assume no. Unless,
Well, and there's a bigger point. People aren't typically shopping for other vehicles. They're typically shopping for a Tesla when they want an electric car.
well, yeah.
They're not really looking for Kia or Ford or even Mercedes.
You know, I
is
love this
really feeling
Elantra,
it.
but is it electric? Nobody's ever said that, you know?
Well, they will be earning a bit more because the charging network will also get federal funds to help build it, thanks to President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act.
It sounds so great.
That's supposed to reduce inflation?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. What else was packed in there that is supposed to actually do the job, you know?
I don't know.
That's another podcast.
Just like this next story. There it is. Chevy Bolt. Remember when GM said they're not going to do it anymore, and then they said they're going to do it again?
I don't really believe them.
They're going to do it. They're going to, well, it's brand recognition.
I'm never going to talk to you again. Forget you were ever my friend.
Well, the Chevy Bolt will be out next year. This will be the first Ultium-based platform to use the LFP batteries. So, brand new tech.
I'm sure it's not going to result in fire.
Like last time.
Look.
But, you know, GM's policy is just shut your mouth. Nobody talk about it. You sign paperwork. You shut your mouth. This is GM. Nobody says nothing. I mean, that was their policy.
I hear Maggie is talking. We got to take care of her.
They just sue her.
Subpoena.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, they just sue the shit out of people.
That's what happens when you have lawyers.
GM's leaders said the new Bolt EV will provide an even better driving, charging, and ownership experience.
It's going to be totally great. It's going to be the best EV you've ever owned.
You know, GM was disappointed with the Ultium platform for 2023. But they say they've made substantial improvements. You know, when it comes to improvements, there's only one improvement that I'm really concerned with is my car not catching fire when it's a Bolt.
Are you sure?
You know, when I'm buying a Bolt, if I was to buy a Bolt, that would be the first thing on my mind.
Just don't park it in the driveway. Just park it in the street. It'll be fine. That way, if it burns
Well,
in the street, it's not going to catch any fires. I mean, unless there's a wind.
I don't need one. I have a Mazda.
Oh, right. Then you're fine.
So, higher priced Ultium models are so far, but they're going to work on lowering the cost for the EV platform. The Bolt will be it's where they're developing.
Mm-hmm. It's probably where the new battery comes in, where they're trying to lower that cost, because I imagine that's a big part of the EV is that battery, because you got to pay those slave merchants to get the people to get that nickel.
Well, whatever's in it. GM plans to produce 200 to 300,000 Ultium EVs in this year. So, software quality issues resulted in the stop of the Chevy Blazer. So, they say they're going to make it, but let's see, shall we?
Let's see if they actually make it.
They do say this. Chevy Bolt accounted for 82% of GM's passenger EV sales last year, which was up over 62K models sold.
It's up. Okay, it's up.
Okay. And it will also get the coveted tax credit starting as low as $27,495.
That's where you get those thrifty people in there. I'm like, I'm sorry, you said tax credit?
Well,
okay.
You know, with the tax credit off, it's a $20,000 car.
It's like getting it for free. So what if it catches your house on fire?
Plus dealer fees. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, if commercials have told me anything over the years.
It's a safe bet. It's a safe bet.
Maybe you want a safe hatch. You might want this next story. There it is. BMW X2 M35i. Although,
God bless you.
It's not an M car.
No. It doesn't look like
it
one.
is the second generation X2. You scroll down a bit. There's a picture of the side view with the hot hatch.
I like that green.
You don't
I don't know why. I don't like the car, but I like the color.
Yeah. Well, you don't see it a lot.
Yeah.
It's generally black, white, gray, and whatever Dodge is doing.
Fuchsia.
There you go. Hot hatch from the side. You know, it's not
It
as good as
It reminds me of like that
looking
old
as-
CRV. You know, the
I
old
guess.
it was like a sedan that had that box back end, and it was a really great car. A lot of people still, love CRV. I'm sorry, not CRV. CRZ. There you go. CRZ. Honda
okay.
loves play off of.
Well, this one will have paddle shifters on the front steering wheel. And we all know how well they work on the first try. 7-speed dual clutch transmission attached to a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4, which will put out 312 horsepower. And they screw in 295 torques.
I love a dual clutch transmission.
10 horsepower over last model.
But the dual clutch transmission, I mean, even comparing my GTI to my TL, the GTI was a lot more responsive to where the TL is more like a traditional car that is a performance model.
Yep.
That dual clutch that you want to go to the next one? I got it ready. It really matters when you're driving.
Yeah, I had a Jetta. It did not have that. This X2 M35i will go 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. Comes standard with electronic controlled adaptive dampeners and sports steering. Suspension has a comfort and a sport setting, which is a shitty ride or an even shittier ride. Really
That's a
important.
horrible option.
He doesn't put it like that, but it's not a very good ride. Probably because he can't say that.
Shit or shittier? Which one do you want?
Not a very good ride is what you're not going to get. Nürburgring. That's why it's a shitty ride. Because they zip it around there and there goes your suspension. Pick a 2024 X2 M35i for $52,395.
Nice. Or not. I don't know.
Well, if you're going to have to fix it again, you're going to see this next story. With a look like this, it could only be one company. Fiat.
Yeah.
Stellantis has revealed 5 new concept cars. This is one of them. They're going to release one a year. This kicks off July 2024. Each vehicle will be followed in the next 3 years. It'll kick off July 2024. They'll do a new vehicle each year for 3 years. Does that count as take 6? Doesn't matter. That part I can leave in.
Sure, that's take 6.
This one has a bold primary color design, as you see.
Bold is the perfect name.
Built around structural lightness, space, optimization, and brightness. It's bright.
Whimsical. Whimsical is a perfect word to describe this. I feel like a Japanese Pixie made it.
It may have been made by a Japanese Pixie, but the dashboard, display, and seats, which include material made, wait for it, from recycled plastic and bamboo fibers.
And also add a guilt debuff as well. So you don't have that heavy burden on your soul.
Sure. But only if you got hit points and charisma to spare.
Perfect. It's ugly as fuck. That's my first thought.
The wheels are capped with diagonal straps from the front. Grille is dotted with tiny pixels, not pixies.
Oh my god, I was about to say that is perfect.
Tiny
Never mind.
pixels.
I completely rescind my previous comments. There's tiny pixies in that grill.
Yeah, no. Tiny pixels in the grille, which I assume you're going to change for...
It might actually be the title of the podcast. Tiny pixies in the grill.
Well, whatever. They will have this on a multi-energy platform. So you probably have a traditional engine, I'm guessing, or a hybrid, or probably a
Lots of
battery.
different options, which is how you're going to sell this ugly piece of shit.
I think people will love it.
They will.
They will.
It does not change my opinion. I think that is fucking horrible. Oh my god.
It'll be made as plug-in or non-plug-in. We have other pictures below, like
plug it in.
No. Yes. This is the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's bright. It's concepty.
Yeah.
You have to secure those seats a bit more if you're going to want to survive a crash test.
A bit. Yeah.
Let's see the next one. There should be an SUV down here somewhere. SUV side steps. This is a side.
Oh,
speaking.
okay. Okay.
It's like a snowboard. This is the SUV concept with the same bizarre
Yeah. Look. Yeah.
Pixie grill.
I don't know if the Pixie's getting
They did-
out of that one.
Fiat promised functional lights on the front, so they're gonna.
Isn't that a standard in all
Function like-
cars?
Yeah, it looks like it's not gonna have functional lights, but they want you to know lights are gonna function.
Okay. This guy looks like he goes to a
or-
special class.
or-
No, I swear to God, he's a scholar. Okay, I trust you.
Or you go below with the rear end with the aerodynamic focus. See, it's an aerodynamic rear, and it comes in purple.
I mean, that is a color you don't really see.
Yeah,
It's
they
purple.
don't sell Fiats here.
It's odd. I'll say that about it. It is definitely odd.
Not shown here. There's also a camper, but that's probably so
Oh
far
my
out.
God. I so want to see that camper.
It's probably going to look like this, but like a little bit. And with like a bed in the back, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
They
but
probably
the
haven't done it.
options they add in campers and how it's customizable and shit, I feel like that's like a whole other podcast. It's just checking out this fucking, Fiat camper. Because it's also made for overseas, so it's going to be smaller.
Europeans, they do love those camper vans.
For the
Whereas
size they
Americans
can get
are
'em.
more like motor homes.
Yeah.
We want to go to
that's it.
nature,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't want to be in nature.
I want to be able to shower, shit, and shave as I normally
and get
do.
TV and internet. But let's see what Renault's doing.
Sure.
Here's the new Renault E5 E-Tech. Renault 5 E-Tech is the electronic Renault. They showed it at the Geneva Auto Show. Fully electric underpinnings with a 400-kilometer range or 249 miles.
I like the metric standard of that because it makes it sound so longer,
Yeah.
It's like shaving to make your dick look bigger. Like, no, it's
Or-
400 kilometers.
Or it's 25,000 euros or 27,100, depending on exchange rates.
Once again, their European system makes it sound so much more romantic. It's only 25,000 euros, man. Don't worry, you got that. No, I do got that.
I don't got that.
No, I don't either. But it looks kind of like they were inspired by a Mini.
Well, it's on the AMP R small architecture, which is based on an updated version of the widely used CMF TAC B, which is already in the Clio and the Culprit.
You don't need to date that man. Oh, not that Clio. I'm sorry, different Clio. It was probably a car model, not a fraud.
It's a Renault
psychic.
Clio.
Okay, so not
It's
a fraud
something-
psychic.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right. Just so the fans know, different Clio. Different Clio.
Totally different Clio. LED graphics on the darkened headlights are designed to resemble the pupil of the human eye. They have a better photo of that pupil.
God, I
I
can't
should
wait.
hope so. Oh, photos. It's in, and
Oh.
it comes in yellow. Look at that.
I mean, you don't see yellow a lot.
Yeah, yellow's a nice color, I guess.
Looks really great in yellow. It's a yellow back end.
Vibrant, that they are going to blend retro elements with vibrant colors.
Well, there's those headlights you were talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Do
I
you
guess
feel do you feel like human eye with that? I feel like it's judging me.
It's like a cartoon eye.
Yeah. Hang on. Who is that?
It's just a cartoon car. That's
But that's how I feel. It's like, hang on, who is that? Close your eyes, like barely see him. If
Well,
if I were
Mr.
gonna attribute it to an eye,
Yeah, well, very Mr. Magoo looking car here. We'll have a 10.1-inch touchscreen, which is combined with a digital instrument cluster, which you can touch, but it probably won't do anything. Except brake. Probably brake. There we go. Single electric motor sourced from the large Megan E-Tech Science E-Tech, and there are 3 variants, a 94 horsepower version, 121 horsepower version, or a monstrous 148 horsepower version. I'd want that one. Not going to go very fast.
Nah.
Or very far, I guess.
Your mom's gonna love it though.
Yes. Battery pack capacity 40 kilowatt hours or 52.
After you're talking about this car, I imagine looking at this, and I imagine Mom looking at it and like, "What? It's cute.
Yeah.
It's a cute car."
DC fast charge 80 kilowatts and 100 respectively. I don't know how it's respectively. Get yours for 27,100.
It asks permission before it charges. Like, are you sure you want to charge? Respectively. Thank you. I appreciate you asking. Yes, I want you to charge.
Okay.
Probably not.
And that brings us to the end of our little show.
We want you to hop on over here. Facebook.com/Lugnutz Podcast. That's where you're going to find all of our polished and lug-in nutty content. But we also want you to go over to PJAndwh.com. That's where you're going to find all of the podcasts under the Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers Love Balloon, like Comics and Pop-Tarts, Tales of the Hunted, as well as the newly released Hit Points and Half Measures.
Question, does he talk about Pop-Tarts?
You know, I didn't ask. I really feel like
I love a good Pop-Tart. And if you're eating them cold, you're eating them wrong. Heat it up. It's so much better.
It takes like a second in the microwave.
It's like microwave.
If you're in a hurry,
You can't wait for the toaster. That much of a hurry.
but if you're not in a
They're
hurry,
delicious.
you're definitely going to
Not
want
a
to check
sponsor.
out Comics and Pop-Tarts, as well as Tales of the Hunted, and all the great stuff we have coming down the pipeline for you, gang. This has been another Lugnutz podcast. Over 3 years of luggy and nutty content coming out to you, and there's only going to be more crazy shit coming. So it doesn't matter if you drive a Fiat or a Lancia, because nothing rolls without Lugnutz. We'll see you next week, gang. Until then, drive on!
Well, Mercedes-Benz will be making gas-powered cars until well into 2030.
I know, Drizzle, it's concerning, but it'll be okay.
It'll be. But Dacia will not electrify the Sandero. That's it. Just combustion. Pure combustion.
Combustion or bust, baby.
Thank you for joining us.
That's it. Combustion or bust, and we want you to bust on over to us next time, Wall Jangers. Until then, we love you, we miss you, and drive on, Lugnutz. Bye-bye!
Drive on Lugnutz.
There's nothing left to do but to crank over those engines, gearheads, 'cause 'tis none other than us, the Lugnutz Podcast. Oh, shit, I don't even have that fucking...
How am I supposed to know how long the song is?
You know what? That is a very fucking valid question, sir. I think
I don't need to hear the song. I just can. I can have a player with a line that tells me how far. Hearing it's not necessary, but like the theme song, we kind of do need that. Take 2. Take 3.
So there's Jesus, let's start over. Take 4. There's nothing left to do but to crunch.
Take 5. You get it.
We're starting
Stick
off
to it.
well. We're
Yeah,
starting
stick
off
to it.
well.
Stick to it.
Okay.
You'll get it.
Okay.
Strike 2.
Oh, strike 1.
The credits you get.
Motherfucker.
There's like 6 stories. It's the V.
It's still not the third story, huh?
Nope, still not that third story. We did the third one. We're on 4.
All right. You sure? Because I really like that third one. Drive to Survive.
Yes, they released it because they had, as of this recording, they had a preseason race.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really count, but it's nice to watch a race.
Yeah, you get to see the cars and how they're reacting. What was your overall feel? Did you see a lot of porpoising like we did last year?
It was 2 years ago, but no. Nope.
Okay.
Just normal cars. Just doing a little. It was a race. It was a good race.
I did overhear the one part with Lewis Hamilton, which actually made me feel good, to where he was like, there were a lot of problems with many years, but they
2
they
years
satisfied him.
2 or 3 years ago, they had the porpoising, and then everybody had it with every car.
Yeah, that was big.
And then the last 2 years, they didn't have any porpoising, and then this year, it's just the same old cars.
Okay.
Because the regulations haven't changed. They'll
Who was
change.
it? Alpine changed their car.
Alpine. They all upgraded the car.
Okay, but
to compete with Red Bull.
Okay, because it was somebody in the pre-race or whatever. They were doing
I do like watching the pre-race. They give you all sorts of. They talk to the drivers and.
Well, they were saying how
You get to hear-
Alpine was like working through a lot of their problems because
They
they
didn't-
changed their car completely.
Yeah.
That was their words. So I mean, especially when you look at like Mercedes or even Red Bull, they were just kind of like, I feel fine
Red Bull,
tuning.
yeah, they have new side pods on theirs. There's a tech talk about the side pods in there this week, talking about how the side pods, what they do. Tech talk is great if you have the F1.
Oh yeah,
app.
oh
App.
yeah.
It's just an app now. I guess it's just an
App, you got to have an app, man.
But
So many years ago, that's
quite
a deep pull.
predictable outcome. But
Red Bull?
Yeah, well,
Okay. Well, maybe it's going to be different with the season. I'm hopeful. I'm always the optimist.
yeah, Lewis. But the big news is 2025. Lewis Hamilton will go to Ferrari.
Absolutely.
Next year. So there's a
so
lot going on in 2025. Grand Theft Auto is going to get released at some point.
Yeah.
Probably December 2025.
But there's a lot that's going to happen by 2025, like you hitting that like and comment button below. Let us know what you think. Subscribe to so that way you get that notification bell as to all the latest purge hangers and wall hangers content. And of course, we love you, we miss you, and we want you to drive on. Bye-bye.
Drive on Lugnutz.